Here at Track and Field, Coach Sean McMahon. Coach, the season is finally underway. We're done with break. Kids are back in school, and indoor track season starts on Friday. As you've been preparing for Friday's meetup at St. Thomas, how have things been going? And give me some expectations of the season.
Well, I'm very encouraged for the season. I'm not always very encouraged for the first meet. We're really training through a couple of weeks. Later in the season, when we're trying to get their legs to feel good, we might, have a recovery day in the middle of the week, or at least lighten load. And I haven't backed off with any of those groups this week. So it's certainly a very good indication of where they are. It's always nice to look back and say, this is how fast I ran this time last year. So in that way, it's a good measurement. For those first-year students, and I've got quite a few freshmen going for the first time ever, it'll be eye-opening for them, and it'll be kind of a baseline. But I'm just excited to get going. I think it's a long fall without a competition, and to actually put the uniform on and get on a bus and be around your teammates. That's why we're here. So I'm looking forward to it.
Let's talk individually a little bit on both sides, the men and the women. You look at the women, and obviously the first person that comes to mind is Coco Booker,
yeah.
All conference in the shot last year at, indoors, and from everything I've seen, I know she's been working very hard to prepare her senior season. Talk a little bit about what you can expect from her this year.
She had a great off season. Really wholeheartedly committed to the weight room in the summer. She had a very diligent fall, and it's not gonna we don't get to pick the fruit from the tree tomorrow. But if she can, again, like I said, be ahead of where she was a year ago, then I think the ceiling's pretty high right now. Her attitude's good. Sometimes seniors in their last semester, that fresh attitude is really good. I guess some more individuals that are, I think, looking for some good stuff coming off of our cross-country season. A couple of strong girls, Katie Stoles, of course, and some good young runners. Our men's cross-country team, of course, had a phenomenal fall. Peter Borash, Jake Traxler, John Souchere, and Aaron Haley all had really strong cross-country seasons. And all those guys translate to different races for track. So we've got one guy at 3K, one guy at mile, one guy in the 1K. So yeah, that's definitely the strength of our scoring on the men's side. But that's not to leave out some of these young kids I'm hoping are going to turn into point scorers when we get to conference.
Let's talk a little about that. Not necessarily to name names, but you look at your roster. There are a lot of young athletes on both the men's and the women's side. You talked about this being kind of an eye opener for them. How important are these first few meets just to kind of get their feet wet and to understand what it's like to compete at the collegiate level? Because really, you're always preparing for the MIAC at the end of the indoor season. So it's important for that learning experience.
Yeah, and they really need to be accountable for their own sort of races. I know in high school, coaches oftentimes will hold the kid's hand all the way to the finish line or all the way to the start line. They need to advocate for themselves, and that's the biggest thing at a collegiate meet, especially with several things going on at once. College meets are set up so that individuals can have their best times, not necessarily for the event. One of the reasons why track meets are so long sometimes. But to know where you need to be at the right time, gauge your warm-up, maybe get whatever you're eating for the day, get that right. I mean, there's a lot of little things that I don't go over on a daily basis that come very much into play on days of meets, and we'll talk about that, but we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
The season kicks off Friday evening up at St. Thomas at the St. Thomas Invitational. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.